Beauty comes in all shapes, sizes, colors, and forms. My life is about bringing out that beauty in everything and helping others do the same. Hello, everyone. My name is Jewel. I am the owner, designer, and creator behind Shabby Boutique. If you want to see how I make my creations, the products I use, and how you can create your own home decor from new, thrifted, or found items, then keep watching. Hello, hello, hello. Guess what today is? The day you've all been waiting for. It is finally time for the IOD 2026 spring release. I am so excited. They did it a little bit early this week. Kind of caught us all off guard. But it's here. And I'm going to show you in depth everything like I always do. Remember that I will have everything in stock in my Etsy shop, my website, both of my painted tree booths in St. Louis, the one in Maplewood, Missouri, and the one in Ballwin, Missouri. I will have everything in stock from the collection. I'm a go big or go home type of person, so I don't just get a couple of things. I make sure I get everything, and I make sure I get enough for everyone. So I hope you guys are excited for this. There is some really, really pretty stuff. Sorry. I swear, every release, it just gets better and better and better. The amount of details and just, I don't know. I love IOD. There's been some things that maybe aren't my cup of tea. But there's ways that you can still use them. You just got to think outside the box. Anyway, so I guess without further ado, let's get started. The first one, we're going to start with the molds. And the first one is called Tulips. And look at that. Now this is inspired by an 1838 pencil sketch of tulips. And these are really, really deep. So you're going to get a lot of detail. You get, oh my gosh, the veining in the leaves and the flowers. This is a really, really good one. Lots of spring stuff. And because these are bigger sizes and so thick, these would be great on furniture too. Kind of like that anthropology dresser that everybody was all into a couple years ago that had like the florals and stuff carved into it. This one would be a good one for something like that. As usual, they put the name on the side for you so you can sit them, store them this way and you can read what it is. Also, don't forget, IOD also puts all the amounts for like resin on each one of the, next to each one of the cavities, so you know how much resin to do. So, yep, that is tulips. Then this next one, if you are a gardener or like creating garden things, this one is for you. You've got a cabbage leaf. You got some sweet peas, you got a carrot at the top, and a sweet little snail. So cute. Again, this is pretty deep. This carrot is going to have great depth to it, and the peas and stuff. The cabbage is a little bit shallower, but I mean, when you think of a cabbage leaf compared to like a carrot, it's flatter. But I could see this one, do this one and then set it in a bowl and make like a little trinket dish out of it, out of clay or resin. And of course, Easter's coming up, so the carrot is great for making little carrots and stuff, or bowl fillers, or the little snails. So cute. Lots of ideas for that one. I know everyone is going to love this one. This is LaCroix, And it is a collection of crosses. And you've got everything from your plain Jane cross to your more decorative, ornate, Baroque type, little intricate areas. And even the plain one has a little bit of a texture. And then there's a little adornments on there too that you can put on them. This one is a great one for Easter coming up, or obviously all year long. Just think of the ornaments and little wall hangings and everything that you could do. So pretty. And again, this is a nice deep one with a lot of detail. This one is one of my favorites. If you guys like the Swags mold, you will love this one. They basically took that and they added way more detail to it and gave you a full wreath. Look at that. All the details in there. This one is called Wreaths and Swags. And again, these are pretty deep. They have really good detail in them. Those are going to cast very well. And again, that was Wreaths and Swags. Or Wreath and Swags, sorry. And then the one that everyone is going to want this season, Layla pins. Look at those bunnies. And you get all that detail of the fur. Look at that. And then you've got a little, I can't think of the word. Not a tussy mussy, but you know, like a little basket full of flowers. It has a name, I can't think of it offhand. And then like a little Fabergé egg. The inspiration for these was like the little rabbit statuettes in English gardens. Lots of details, nice and deep again. And that one was Layla pins. Now we are going to go to the stamps, and I am going to start. We have another 6x6 set. It comes in a box. This one is called Emblems. And these are all taken from book plates from the 1800s and even as far back as 1542. And the great thing is, like, this center one right here is not actually attached. Each one of these are individual pieces. So instead of putting it in here, you could put it in here or any of the other ones. But these would be great if you're giving somebody a book as a gift, to stamp this in the book and write their name in it, or use the conservatory one with the alphabet, or the countryside memoirs with that cursive alphabet meant for monograms and stuff. So pretty. I know I have a glare. All right, and then the third page. And again, these are so ornate and so pretty. You could use these for cards and postcards. Stamp them in the corner of your project. So many uses. I know I do like hand stamping on muslin, and these would be great for that. to do little pieces to add to your, like stamp on it and then put it in a frame or whatever on your projects. Or like how people want, you know, attach them to baskets and stuff. Very, very pretty. This is a great set to have. Set that one aside. Then this one is taken from Antique Lace. Take that out of there. You can see the details on this one. And this one is called Lace. And you have 3 separate pieces. You have a strip here and here, and then this one here. These are all individual pieces, or you could use them together, but they are made to line up on the ends so that you can do like repeating patterns on furniture. And again, look at that, all that intricate detail. That is going to be so pretty. Oh yeah, I'm excited about that one. And then next is going to be another favorite. We all love spring. We all love birds and butterflies. Look at this one. This one is called Meadowlark. And this is taken from antique china. And that was what the inspiration was, all the antique china, like the Wedgwood and like the blue flow and stuff. So you can go thrifting and get you some plates and paint them and then stamp on them and create some wall art that actually looks like old plates. Tons of butterflies, and the birds are so sweet and they're so detailed. So detailed. And then of course all the stamps come with the masks. And then this one is my favorite. Palais des Fleurs. And this one is taken from, from Marie Antoinette's wallpaper. It's so pretty. You could create damask with it, damask. Everyone pronounces it differently. So pretty. And again, like, I don't know if you can see like the details on the cloth on that. It's just gorgeous. Again, that was Palais des Fleurs. Then we're going to go to the transfers, which are always my favorite. The first one is Saint Quin. This one is inspired by Saint Quin, the old Paris district, known for their flea markets and brocantes. So your first page, you're going to have a large rose floral. So pretty. And then there's another large one with a couple of small ones. And then I like these. They have the kind of muted vintage looking colors. That is so pretty. And then you have a few ads. Some moths, butterflies. This one kind of reminds me of the brocante one because it has a little bit of everything. It's kind of an eclectic mix. It's got some florals, it's got some little buildings, it's got some advertising. It's got some typography. It's just got a little bit of everything for everyone. This will have so many projects you can make from this booklet. Some more typography and ads. Strawberries. And of course, a little rooster. Some more butterflies. And that is the last page on that one. And just because of the glare, I'm going to go ahead and show you the back so that you can get a better idea. The next one is Flora Greca. That's what this one looks like. Again, think spring, think birds, florals, gardens, lots of birds in this one. This one is going to be a favorite for the bird lovers out there for sure. And of course, all the projects you could do with these. So many images in each one. Like these would be so pretty if you just paint some old jars and put them on there for your roses or for your garden flowers. You have a nice big one for a nice big project. I love the colorway in this too. There's lots of muted tones of pinks and purples and burgundies and yellows. And again, more birds, more butterflies, more moths. These are the 8x12, and you get 8 sheets in each one. And again, due to the glare, I will go ahead and hold this up so you can kind of see a little better. Then we have Emily Claire. This one is going to have more of your pastels. Again, muted colors. So pretty. And a lot of little great ones for smalls. A lot of frames. You know, you don't have to use this in there. You can just cut out, you know, that section and just use the border. You don't have to use it as it is. So pretty. dainty, elegant. And on this one, you got some pops of red. And some little kittens. She must have loved cats. Again, more birds, more butterflies, dainty florals, more kitties. Little roosters. So sweet. That was, again, Emily Claire. Then this next one was inspired by Paul de Longpre. Longpre? I can never pronounce it correctly. One of my favorite artists. He's the one that's known for what they call the yard-long rose prints. And again, I've used a lot of his artwork in creating a lot of my imagery and stuff back in the day. More birds, butterflies, moths, roses. Him and Katarina Klein are both two of my favorite artists. I just love the depth that they put like in their roses and everything. Like you feel like you can just, pull them right off the page. So much detail. Oh, I think I forgot to tell you what the name of this one was. Oh, this one is By Any Other Name, referring to, a rose by any other name. So pretty. I actually used to do a lot of cross stitch, and I would take some of his paintings and I would put them into a cross stitch program that would take the image and turn it into a cross stitch pattern, and I would cross stitch his roses by any other name. Again, this one's going to be another favorite. Now we are with another Gilded Transfer, and this one has both the gold and the silver. Oh, you know what? I forgot to show you the back real quick of By Any Other Name, so I guess I should do that. Sorry. Okay, for this one, it's called Papillon, which is butterfly in French. And yeah, there's probably going to be some glare. So I will show you the back. So you have 4 sheets of silver and 4 sheets of gold. And I will go through it and hopefully you can see it. Because I like you to see, besides knowing what's in there, I also like you to see kind of like the size comparisons. These are going to be great for putting in your artwork and on your smalls. Tons of altered books with these. And obviously they combine with the other transfers well, because they all have the same floral, bird, and butterfly theme. And then don't forget on these, once you do the transfer, the actual transfer, you can do a reverse transfer by using gold sizing. You would just take that piece and then, you know, kind of cut around it and then put it on whatever you're going to put it on. You put the sizing on, let it dry, and then stick this to it. So you can actually get double use out of these. Lots of bird cages. Which this one would pair very well with the menagerie one from the summer release. I don't remember if it was the summer or the spring release, but menagerie, the one that's got all the bird cages and stuff. You could do the regular transfer from menagerie, the bigger bird cage, and then you could do the gold ones in the background. And a nice big butterfly. And that is the last one on that one. It's Papillon. And again, I'll give you another look at that one. I love this release. Everything is so pretty. And there's actually some surprises at the end too. Now this one is a big one. This one is Madeleine. I think Madeleine, something like that. This was inspired by the small town right outside of Saint Germain. So it kind of ties into the Saint Germain transfer as well. This is a bigger one, so it's going to be a little harder to show, but I will do my best. We have some nice borders, corners. I love this little wreath, it's so pretty. And again, birds, butterflies, florals. You have some of the softer muted colors, but then you have some more of the bolder and brighter colors mixed in too. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. And you could use the brighter ones in the foreground and the more muted ones in the background. And then here you've got some nice trims. So pretty, so delicate and detailed. Oop. This page is probably my favorite. Everyone knows that I love pink roses. And you put pink roses and birds together, you got a deal. And you have birds on branches. So, so pretty. So this one is great for smalls as well as furniture and bigger pieces. And again, I will show you the back so you can kind of get an idea. But this is the 12 by 16, and again, you get 8 sheets. And then we have our paint inlay, Hameau de la Reine, which is Marie Antoinette's, what do you call that? Like her little private cottage that she had. And this is artwork inspired by that. So if you love French country, you like ornate, this one is going to be for you. That is so pretty, like a little garden scene, like toile. And again, you're talking, you know, birds, florals, butterflies. So we have some of the soft black, and then you have some blue. Oops. Down so you can see better. And some roosters. And then I know my sweet husband will flip it for me so that you can actually read it. But you got your cute cow, some more birds' nests. Miss Marie herself. And again, their paint inlays, every time they come out with them, they get more and more detailed. And they're just gorgeous. I absolutely love them. Look at this one. And the sheep. And like even the writing, there's so much detail in that, in that writing. I just love it. I know people are intimidated by paint inlays, but what I say is just start with the small pieces, you know, and work your way up to the bigger pieces. Once you get the hang of it, they're super easy to use, and you get such a great hand-painted look that you just, you know, you're not going to get with transfers because it's real paint that embeds into your paint. They're so pretty. Like this one would be so pretty, like on the top drawer of like a chest on the drawer front. I like doing, you know, like you do a tall boy chest or whatever, and you do something special on the top drawer. That would be so pretty on there. So pretty. And then this last page is kind of a soft brown. So you get some variations and some other colors besides just your black and white. Got a couple courting scenes. All right. And I will show you the back. So again, you can see everything at once. Again, this one, you have so many uses. And don't forget, with the paint inlays, you can use them more than once, up to 3 or 4 times. They get lighter and lighter every time you use them, but sometimes you just want that little bit of depth in the background and you don't really necessarily want to see it. So, okay, that is all for the molds and the transfers and the paint inlays and the stamps. And here's the surprise. We have more gallery art, or gallery wall art pieces. Gallery blanks, wood blanks, whatever you want to call them. So you have little 5x5. Everyone said, give us more, like the large arch. And so this would be great for doing sweet little pictures. And the one thing I love about their gallery blanks is A, they're very thick and they have a nice thick frame around it. But also you can do something on this side and this side. If you just use a ribbon to hang it, then you can flip it. So you can do something seasonal on one side, but then have something on the other side that you have all year long. So love that. And then everybody loves the large wood blank. And they decided to do a smaller version. So this is 7x10. And this would be perfect for doing the carrots, or doing the crosses, or doing the bunnies, or or doing the rose swags. Yes. And again, you can do artwork on both sides. And again, they're nice and thick. And then we have another new shape. We have a small oval that is 8.5 by 10.6 inches. And again, you get that double border. You can use it on the back and the front. Comes with the mounting hook if you want to use it. And then we have a large oval, which is 12.7 inches by 15.7 inches. So everybody's been wanting oval frames. Now you have not just one, but you have 2 sizes. And you could literally even stack them inside of each other if you want more interest. So that is it for the spring collection for 2026. I hope you enjoyed this part of the video. Again, I like giving more in-depth views of everything so you know exactly what you're getting. Feel free to fast forward through it if you want. And then after this, I'm going to create a project using the new release. And so I will see you back in a few. All right, I'm back for our spring release, 2026 IOD spring release project. Sorry. My mind went blank for a second. Okay, so I have these 2 hat boxes that I've had in my stash for a while, and we're gonna decorate them with the new release. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start off by painting them black. Well, I'm going to use DIY's black velvet because I did a video the other day on adding depth and character and texture and interest to like the backgrounds on your stuff. And one of the tricks that I did was a monochromatic, like black on black stamping. And so if you use the black velvet with the IOD black ink, you get like a black on black stamping or whatever. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to start off with, like I said, the black velvet DIY paint. How is everyone doing today? What did you guys think of the release? I think it is gorgeous. All right, we'll start with the bigger one. And I'm going to paint the inside and outside of all the pieces. Now this is, like it's a paper mache box, but it's covered in fabric. But that's okay, because you can use DIY paint on fabric. Or paper, because the inside of this is paper. The one thing I love about DIY paint is it's nice and thick. You can water it down if you need to, depending on what you're using it with. But it is so, besides being thick, so it gets good coverage, it is also extremely pigmented. So a little bit goes a long way. Again, you can use water to thin it out, you know, depending on how you're using it. You can use it as a dye on fabric, like if you want to paint furniture, you would just water it down and then use it as a dye. And even though you're watering it down, again, there is so much pigment in here that even when you water it down, it's very pigmented. All right, so I have the inside of that one done. And I will probably only need to do one coat. For one, I'm going to be painting the inside and the rim around the hat boxes. I'm going to be painting those gold. So, and I think gold looks really good over black. It like helps bring out that metallicness, gold sheen, whatever you want to call it. My husband says I like to make up my own words. And that is very true. All right, set that one aside. And let's get that off of there. Because again, this is very pigment. This black will get everywhere. So, how is everyone doing today? We still have a ton of snow on the ground. And I believe we're supposed to get more snow tonight. And I know it is cold out there. So I asked you on my last video what kind of mood you were in today. Like I said, I love music. And depending on my mood, depends on what I listen to. Just curious what everyone's listening to today, what kind of mood you're in. I have that song stuck in my head. So Joe, is it Keery or Keeny? Keery, I think. The guy from Stranger Things has that band called Joe, but it's DJO. And he's got that song, The End of the Beginning or whatever. And I have that song stuck in my head today. My husband was listening to it earlier. It is very catchy for sure. So anybody got any ideas of what they're going to do for their first project with the new spring release? I know everyone's going to love the bunnies and the cross mold for sure. especially with Easter coming up. And that's a mold that you can use all year long because bunnies never go out of style. Right. All right, since everything is painted black now, there is I guess a water spot or something that won't go away, but that's fine. We're gonna be putting transfers on. I'll make sure it goes over top of it. You'll never see it. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I have everything's just painted with the DIY black velvet, no sealer or anything yet. So my next step is I'm going to take the lids and I'm going to use my IOD black ink and my kindest regards stamp, and I'm going to stamp on top. And this is where you're going to get that, like I said, black on black, tone on tone look for your background. That's just going to give you a hint of texture, depth, character. So you can see that. It's just a little something in the background. I wanted to use the lace stamp, the new one, but it wasn't wide enough to cover the whole thing, the widest one or whatever. And so I decided to go for the kindest regards for the top. Oops, down a little bit. There we go. Okay. And on this lid, you can see that too. Now I am going to take the lace stamp and do around the sides. And remember what I do with my, always the first time you use them, always kind of give them a little bit of a scuff. Oops. With your sandpaper, I go one direction and then I turn it sideways and I go the other direction. Now you don't want to sand too much. Sorry for the noise. You don't want to sand too much, but you do want to make sure that you're basically kind of roughing up the surface so that the ink sticks to it. Now, do you have to do that? No, you don't have to do that. But it just helps the ink stick to it, or to kind of, you know, get in there, get in the little grooves. All right. Now for this one, let me do this. Turn it this way. All right, I'm going to try to get it just on this one and not on the other two. I know you see my notes there, but I always, especially the first time I'm using a stamp, I always do kind of a test print. Just kind of, I don't know what you call it, kind of seasoning the stamp. All right, so let's actually get some ink on there. Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to wipe off any ink I may have gotten on there or on there. And I'm going to line it up with the top of the box and see if I can get a decent impression. I mean, it's not perfect, but I am 100% fine with that because I like it looking old and vintage. Like I said, words are hard. Anyway, I like it looking old and vintage and worn. So I don't, but look at the details in that. Isn't that crazy? Minus the part that didn't really stamp well. So pretty. I love this stamp. It's going to be great for like furniture and stuff for sure. All right, let me ink it up again. And I will line it up again. This one's going to be hard trying to line it up with the end of that one. And again, It's not perfect, but I am 100% okay with that. Because like I said, I like it to look old and worn. And this is just to give it a little bit of depth, and so it's not just plain black. So, although I might try to stamp just this little end here. Yeah. But yeah, I think that came out perfect. All right, and let's do the other one. Like I said in my other video when I was talking about backgrounds and just adding some dimension and interest to your projects using like tone on tone or whatever. I showed some taking like napkins and decoupaging it over black, and then, you know, different things using the black ink on the black paint. You know, it's just, again, it's just adding a little something extra. Let's try to line it up with that. And I know you can't see what I'm doing. I guess I should probably move it when I do my next pass. There you go. All right. I guess I was out of frame, so I will show you better on this one. And I know it's going to be hard to see, but basically I'm taking my hand inside of it as I'm rolling it, and I'm pressing down on even pressure, like top and bottom. On that pass, I probably could have pushed down at the bottom a little further. But again, I'm not looking for perfect, because I like that worn look, and it's just to add a little bit of visual interest. So I'm fine with it not being perfect. So I'm lining the top part up with the top part of that at the end. There's that, and then I have just a little section to do. And if you don't roll it all the way to the end, then you won't get that little line like right there. There we go. Like I said, it just adds a little bit of something, so it's just not plain black. Set this aside. All right, so we have those done. Okay, we're gonna take liquid patina and we are going to clear coat everything. Since this is black, And DIY paint is water-based and can be reactivated with water. The liquid patina is water-based, and just so I don't get black in my liquid patina, I'm going to put it into a little cup. I've been doing Valentine's ornaments and there's glitter everywhere. I've tried to clean it up several times and there was a piece of glitter on there, so I needed to get it off. Okay, I have everything coated with liquid patina inside and out, and you're going to get the gloss from the liquid patina, but I just wanted to show you how you can still see what I stamped on there. So now that we have that done, I'm going to take the by any other name, and I am going to take this rose out right here. Set this aside. Had some drops of liquid patina on my desk. Anyway, I'm going to cut this out. I always have to double check. I'm always so worried I'm cutting through the bottom one or through a second or third one too. Okay, so for the larger lid, let me make sure I get this the right way. Okay, it goes this way. I'm going to be putting this on the top. Transfer stick. And I always go over it first. Just kind of give it, stick it down. And then you start on one side. And if for some reason you pull it up and there's a little piece that didn't stick, you can always just put it back down and rub it again. Did get a little bit of a tear there, but I think it'll be fine. I'll put a butterfly or something there. Okay, now you take the inside of the carrier sheet, which is where it actually was attached to, and then you burnish it in. And I burnish it in really, really well. Because I feel the better you burnish it in, the more it becomes one with the piece. And I always save all my transfer pieces because they're great for putting paint on, or using them when you're decoupaging, or putting your gold waxes on. All right. Then I want to take one of the little butterflies and put it on there, or a moth or a bee or something. I want one that stands out. Whoops. But since these colors are kind of subtle, they're not real bright, I want to put something on there that's going to go with it. I think that green one will fit in. I think I'm going to do this one here. And I will put it right over that spot that I messed up on, and then you will never know that I messed up on it. That is the great thing about transfers, is they're pretty much mistake proof. You can always find a little bit or bob that you can put over top of somewhere that you messed up. So I will stick that right there. I'm trying to be careful because it has the little antennas, and I'm trying to be careful so that they don't, that they do come off and they don't stay on the carrier sheet. Perfect. And no one is the wiser. Now I'm going to get out Papillon and look through the gold section and see if I can find something to put like right there. Inches. Ooh, that's old. That's too long. It'll cover over the moth that I put there. Okay. I think I'm going to do the butterfly here. And I always try to cut them out in a way that I can use them again, because once you put the gold on here for the design, then afterwards the gold that's left on there you can actually use again. You just use sizing that you would use with not gold foil, gold leafing, and you can actually get the gold off of the paper what's left. So Let's figure out where we want this. Let's go right there. All right, and then I will just use my carrier sheet from one of the other ones. And varnish that in. And there you go. And then I'm going, just because there's so much space here, I'm going to put another butterfly or moth or bee or something. For that one, I'm going to take this little green one. And this one I'll just kind of put right there in the middle. There you go. All right, now I'm going to liquid patina over the top of this as my sealer. Sneaky glitter. It's trying to sneak on there. And while that's drying, we'll do the other one. Okay, and again, we're going to grab one of the roses out of the by any other name. And where is that little... And what do you know, that little water stain is gone. So I don't have to worry about covering it over. All right, I think I'm going to take this rose here. And oops, let's take this little moth out of there. Okay, this one kind of curves this way. So I'll do that one that way. Sometimes if it's being stubborn and it doesn't want to come off, use the corner or even your fingernail if you need to. I know sometimes the little points, it's kind of hard to get them started sometimes. Of course, it doesn't help that I'm impatient and the top coat on here, the liquid patina, isn't fully dry. It's still kind of not tacky, but you can just tell it's, you know, it should have probably sat a little while longer. So because of that, it's not wanting to adhere the greatest, but it's working. It just takes a little more finessing. So don't do like me. Let it dry. Oops. And if you are having issues with it adhering, just go slow. Just go slow. Take your time. I always kind of hold it down with my finger just in case something didn't adhere, and then I'm not moving it, so I can just place it right back down. There we go. And since that one's got a piece taken out of it, I'm just going to use this carrier sheet. Burnish it down. Like I said, I burnish it really well because then there's a slight halo around, like a clear halo. And if you burnish it really well, then that halo disappears. And then it, like I said, it just kind of becomes one with your project. All right, so we have those roses, and now I'm going to go through the gold foil transfer book again and see what we have. I'm going to use that. And look at that. I almost cut through 2 pages. All right, and if that ever happens, where your transfer page comes out of your booklet, just so that it doesn't move around, because the back of these are sticky, and whatever it sticks to, it will stick to. So I'll just take a piece of painter's tape. I had to do this on another one earlier. And I will just tape the 2 together. And that way they don't come apart and you're not going to ruin your transfer sheet. There you go. Oops. Check, make sure my writing is straight. There we go. And for the gold ones, you can tell it's adhered because you can kind of see through it where the gold was. So when it's clear, then you know that it's adhered down. All right, so yesterday when I started putting this transfer on, my camera died. So I figured, you know what? I haven't eaten yet today, and it was like 6:30 at night, so maybe it was my camera's way of telling me that I needed to go get something to eat. Anyway, so we'll get back to putting this transfer on. I believe I was telling you that you could tell if the gold was off of it by lifting it up, and you could see it see through if the gold is laid down. But the gold transfers are pretty much just like all the rest of them. Okay. That's all geared down. So now I'm going to take that piece of carrier sheet that I've been using and I'm going to burnish that in real good. Sorry, real well. All right, and then just like on the other box, I'm going to put a butterfly, maybe 2. Maybe, let's look in the booklet. See what we can find. Thinking maybe that one. I think I like this one, maybe for over here is a bigger one. And maybe the small little white one. I think I'm going to put this one over here, and then this little one like here. Maybe there like that. All right, and that's all done. So I'm going to go ahead and put my liquid patina over top. Seal everything in. All right, I'll set that aside. This one is all sealed with the liquid patina and dry since it is the next day. And so again, I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of a close-up. And like I said, you can't even, there is a sheen from the liquid patina, but you just see that little bit in the background. It just gives it a little more dimension, a little more depth. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna take some golden ticket and I'm going to paint the insides gold and then this band around the lids gold. Okay, sorry, I had to take all the gunky stuff off the lid. Make sure this is stirred really well. This is a liquid patina if you've never used it before. So it is just like the clear liquid patina, but it is gold. You can do a light coat so that you can see through. So it's just a sheer coat, or you can build it up to make it a solid gold. Oop. And I am making a huge mess. I already got some all over my fingers. And let's clean that up so it doesn't get everywhere. Okay, first coat of gold on the inside. I just thought making it gold on the inside would make it a little fancier, add a touch of elegance. The liquid patina goes on just like butter. It is so smooth. There's that one. All right, set that up on my liquid patina jar. All right. I must have had some on my finger and got some inside the lid. All right, let's do the second box. The other thing I love about this liquid patina is if you see, I'm barely putting any on my brush, but it is so pigmented, it goes a long way. And I like the fact that it's versatile, where you could just do one coat and get that sheer look so that it looks old and aged and worn. Or you can give it a second, sometimes third coat, depending on what color you're going over, and you know, get a true gold. It is so pretty. And then I just kind of take my brush and go over the top, little lip, and top's dry on that one. Give you a look at that one. And it came out so pretty. Flip it over on top of my can. Okay, that's dry, and that's what it looks like with the first coat. Which honestly, I almost like, but I don't like all the brush strokes. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it another coat. Another color besides black that you can do the liquid, the golden ticket liquid patina over, would be like a red, because back in the day when they would do like the gilding with the gold foil and everything, they would do it over red. But you can use orange, you can use purple. Now, if this would have been like a tray or something that's a little easier to get a perfect back and forth with, like a riser or something, I would have left it streaky like that, because it just would have, like I said, you know, given it some age, make it look worn. But even the second coat goes on like butter. It is so smooth. And remember, this has the built-in sealer, so you don't have to put a top coat or anything on. It is a top coat in itself. Now, as for the lid, it did a pretty darn good job of covering. So I think on the lid, I'm just going to stop at the one coat. You can see just a hint of the black showing through, but this is what I was saying about the lid versus the box. With the bottom kind of going around the circles and everything. Anyway, like I was saying, the in the box with the bottom, with it not being like a square and kind of going around the edges and stuff, I didn't like the brush strokes in the bottom of it. But on this, I like it. But again, I was just doing the brush strokes in one way, and you don't see the brush strokes. So on this, I'm gonna leave that at one coat because I think that looks good. And same thing with the smaller one. And look, the liquid patina is already dry. If you haven't used the golden ticket, I mean, yeah, I love my gold wax. That I put it on pretty much everything, but the golden ticket, that's the ticket to the tree gold. It is so pretty. It is so bright. I mean, look at that. Gorgeous gold. All right, so let's give the inside of this one a second coat. The other thing about the golden ticket, a little bit goes a long way. I mean, literally, a little bit goes a long way. All right, I'm going to wash my brush out and return for the next step. Okay, now that our lids are dry, I'm going to put a little gilded piece inside the lid just for a little something extra. And I will probably go back and cut out another like butterfly or moth to put on there too. So I think for the big lid, I'm gonna do this one. And this is one that I accidentally pulled off and had to tape together, like I was telling you about. So do that one and the big one. Then in the smaller one, I think I'm just going to do this butterfly. Okay, now since my mat might have some paint or something on it, I'm going to use the back of the transfer book to set the lid on. All right, so it goes like that. Let's get this centered. Oh, that looks centered. Okay, perfect. Right, grab my carrier sheet. Wipe away anything that's loose. And there you have it. And these gold transfers look so good because it's the same tone of gold as the golden ticket. I love them. All right, let's do the smaller one. And then we will go in with the liquid patina and clear coat over it. Oh yeah, I need to put the butterflies on there too. Or, yeah. Looks good. With the gold transfers, it's almost kind of like peel up a little bit and push it down. Peel up a little bit, push it down. I know some people have issues with them. And sometimes I find that just using the corner works better too. The corner of your transfer stick. And there you go. All right. And then out of this transfer sheet, grab a couple more butterflies. All right. I'm going to use this one since I already have that cut out. I think I'm going to do this one because it kind of reminds me of gold. And on the other one, I think I'm going to take this one. And how about that little yellow one? All right. On the little one. I'll put that one there. All right. We'll put that one right there. Okay, I like that. And put that one there, slightly over the gold. All right. The hardest part about doing transfers is trying to get it up off whatever you're working on. The corner of it. Right now I don't have any fingernails. I've been crafting my little fingers to the bones. So I know my hands are a mess. I have just been busy and have not had time to take care of my fingernails. A little bit bigger piece. There we go. And burnish that in, and then we will clear coat these with some liquid patina, and then our project will be done. Projects, however you want to look at it. But so pretty. Like I said, I truly love the spring release with all the butterflies and the birds and the florals. It just definitely screams spring. All right, and then let's top coat this. And if you wanted to, and you wanted to do that black on black, tone on tone stamping on the inside, you could have taken a smaller stamp instead of doing the gold and the transfers and stuff. You could have just stamped inside, like the Meadowlark has got that pretty little bird's nest and everything. That would have been pretty in there. Or you could have used it behind everything like I did with the, it would just had to have been a stamp that obviously fit down in there. But we have some of those great ones from, oops. You could have done something older like the Rose Toile. Or done any of the ones from the spring release in the background if you wanted to. Alright, I'm going to hit these with a heat gun just so I can dry them really quickly, and then I can show you what they look like. And of course, I always show the pictures at the end. That gives more in-depth look at them, more detail. Okay, so they're dry now. And this is the one thing I love about the liquid patina too. Used as a clear coat over top of the gold transfers, is it doesn't take away the reflectiveness of the gold. That gold is still shiny. So we have the inside of the box. And we have the inside of the lid on the big one. And then this is what the top looks like. So I guess I need to turn it the right way. And then this is what it looks like on the side. Again, with that little bit of stamping, which I'm trying to get it where you can actually see it because there's a glare. But then the bottom's just plain black. And then of course the smaller one, we have the butterflies on the inside. And then again, here is the lid. And then the side. Hopefully you can see the lace pattern still. Like I said, there's a glare, so it's hard to see it. But with the naked eye, you can see it. So, all right. Well, that is it for the project for today. In the comments section, let me know what you think. What are you most excited about for the spring release? What kind of projects are you going to do with it? Are you going to make gifts? Are you going to do some home decor for your own home? Are you going to do some thrift flips to sell? And if you made it to the end, put a little rose emoji in the comment section. Let me know you made it to the end with me. Like I said, I know my videos are long, but I try to give you as much information as I possibly can. Like I said, I'm a person that likes to not just know how to do something. I want to know why I'm doing it. Because if I know why, then I can take that implementation and apply it to other things. And then there's also beginners out there that don't know even where to start, and they don't know the ins and outs of decoupaging or stamping or transfers or, whatever. And they need that little extra, step or two to help them get through it, give them a little courage to try it, So that's what I'm here for. Besides giving you creative ideas, I want to share my knowledge. I want to teach. And so I apologize if my videos are long. Like I said, you're more than welcome to fast forward through them. But I just want you to know I've been doing this a very, very long time. I started sewing when I was 8. So I turned 55 this past year. I still feel 18. But, so I have a lot of knowledge, and I just want to share that with people. And so if there's anything that, that you're interested in trying or whatever, if I've done it before and I know anything about it, leave a comment below. I'd be more than happy to make a video, telling you what I know, showing you what I know, teaching you what I know. And again, I know my taste isn't everyone's taste. I know there are people that are minimalists, and I know people that are more into MCM, and I know there's people that are more into country or, but it's not about, I guess, the theme of the creation or the aesthetic of the creation. It's more about the process. And so if it's not your taste, that's fine. But if you watch my video and you learn something that, maybe the French stuff and the roses aren't you, that's fine. But if there's any bit of information in my videos to help you, with your own creations, whatever, you know, your theme or your aesthetic is, then that's my goal. So I know I've gotten some comments here and there, oh, that's ugly or whatever, and that's fine. It does not offend me in the least, because I know that I have my taste, you have your taste, whatever. But like I said, my goal is to teach, share my wealth of knowledge. I've done a lot of things, a lot of different type of arts and crafts and sewing and, you know, crocheting and cross stitching, and I mean, you name it, I've pretty much done it. So again, I know my videos are long, but if you can bear the process and you learn anything at all from them, then I feel like I have done what I was supposed to do. I get joy from teaching people. I get joy from helping others. So that's why I started my YouTube channel, and that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So anyway, I will try to take some really good pictures at the end of these for you. And yeah, until the next video, I will bid you all adieu. Hugest internet hugs I can give you. You guys have a good day. Bye. Let me know what you think of this project, and if you have any questions or something in particular you would like to see me make, or a product in particular you would like to see me use, feel free to leave a comment below. Thank you ever so much for watching, and until we meet again, have a most serendipitous day. Hugs to all. Love, Jewel.